What's going on YouTube? This is Marcos from K&F Pressure Washing, and I'm back again with another video. In this video, we got to do a repair to my pressure washer because it's not building pressure. So let me show you what I have to do to fix it.
Okay. Even the sun goes down. Heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. Nothing is for show, nothing is for certain. Nothing lasts forever, but until they close the curtain. It's him and I, a Quim and I.
Okay, if you look right here, this is my pressure washer. It is a hot C 4-gallon pressure washer, and what's going on with this, it's not building up pressure. So what we need to do to fix this is we're gonna have to replace the uploader, which is this piece right here. Now I did purchase some check valves, which are located here and here, but it wasn't the check valves and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna make a video about that yet because the parts and stuff are not wore out. If the check valves go bad, the reason they go bad is because you were letting your pressure washer sit here and it got too hot, and the little valves on the inside went bad because they are now damaged, they'll crack or they'll melt. So you don't want to leave your pressure washer just sitting idle and stuff like that, because if you do, it's gonna mess something up. Again, we are replacing the uploader, and this is my replacement piece right here. I got this piece off Amazon. It was around roughly like 50 bucks or so. I will leave a link in the description, and if you use the link, it will help the channel out and also help me out. But I did buy this with my own money and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna replace this old one with this new one. Okay, so this one right here is a 4,000 PSI. It will work up to 10 gallons. I just got a 4-gallon machine. So if I do decide to upgrade or something like that, I will have this for a spare. Or if I build one, I at least would have something that will work with a newer machine or a bigger machine. So what we need to do now is we got to get the old one off, and we're going to put the new ones on. As we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and show you how to replace this step by step. We're going to need a few tools, and we're going to probably use some of the parts that's on here, and we're going to replace them back here, because like this, I don't have this hose piece right here. If you notice, I have this hose, so this is kind of like a return. So when you let off the trigger of your pressure washer, the water kind of recycles right here. So right now, the only way this water is kind of recycles itself is through here. Usually you'll have this hose or something running back into your tank. If you had a tank on a trailer or on a vehicle or something like that, you'll have one end of the hose going to the tank and the other one will be plugged up. So right now, we're gonna have to put this back together exactly the way we see it right now. Okay, right here is my downstream ejector. I just purchased this. This one seems like it works better than my original one that I had. I got a link for this one too, so I put that in the description also, along with other parts and stuff that I use that you can get off Amazon. So we're gonna take this off, and we're gonna put that to the side. Now we just have a couple of pieces we're going to reuse. We're going to have to reuse this, or unless I have a new one. I check my my little toolbox, make sure I have another there. I don't have one of these. I don't have one of these, and I don't have the little piece that this is sitting on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get this piece off and this piece off. Right here, this wrench right here is 11/16. This fixed this. You may not have 11/16 piece on here, but right now we got to get this hose off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist the hose, and we're gonna just back this out like so, because I'm turning the hose. It's just not, it's kind of hard to pull out. So what I'm doing, the hose is spinning right now, so we're just kind of turning this until we get it out. Shouldn't be too much. how much more I need. Shouldn't need that much. There we go. All right, so we got that out. Now this piece right here, it's not in tight. You can take a pair of pliers and you could just loosen it up, and that comes out. So that's two pieces. Put that to the side. Now we need to get this little piece out right here. Let's see if I have a wrench that fits it. This wrench. Yep, it fits. All right, just loosen this up. Okay, that's out. I may have a new one of these. We might replace that. All right, so now we're ready to take the uploader off. And the reason I'm taking this off, because I'm assuming that this is the problem, is when you press down on this, it should bounce because this has a spring in it. That spring seems like it's stuck. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so when you're using the uploader, this piece is supposed to be moving. It's supposed to like bounce up and down because it has a spring in it. That spring is not moving. So that's the reason I kind of assumed that this is messed up. So we can get this piece off real quick and I can show you what we have. Now, one thing about this uploader, I never sit here and adjust it. I can't even adjust this thing. It's froze tight. So you should be able to spin this to adjust the pressure and stuff like that. Like I said, I never adjusted mine because it was made for the machine. It was set for the machine. So one thing I'm gonna have to do when I put the new one on is I probably would have to adjust this to work to the machine, which I don't have a pressure gauge, but we're gonna see if we can start making it, make one. So as you can see, it's a spring right here, and I can spin this. I can kind of push it. This one, I can't push it. I can't spin it. This is using all my strength almost, and it's not moving. So that's the reason I'm assuming that this is locked up. Let's go ahead. It has a bolt in at the top. See that bolt right there? We're going to go ahead and loosen that bolt up. We're going to try to take this out, and then we'll look at the spring. So take my socket. We're just going to loosen this up. Now, after you get this screw out, this should spin off right here. I'll just keep turning it. Now you should start seeing the spring and stuff right there. Now this is loose. So this is a little adjustment piece. And as you can see, it has a spring. And I can't get that to move at all. Let's tap it real quick. I mean, this is froze tight. So you can probably don't have to buy all this. You can probably just buy this spring right here. I just went ahead and got a new one. It's like it might have been easier to just buy it for replacing the whole piece and stuff like that. So now what we need to do, we need to spin this off and we can put the new one on. So what we'll do is have these pliers, get some leverage with this. We're going to try to spin this off now. There we go. And I'm turning it counterclockwise, just in case you wonder which way I'm turning this. There we go. So this is the uploader coming off. All right, that's off. Now looking at this, it looks like it's in pretty decent condition. The only difference is, like I said, this spring is not moving. So we're not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, so we're just gonna take this one and we're gonna put this to the side. Okay, now this is the new uploader and we're gonna put everything back on it just the way it came. So I have this little piece at the bottom. It's not really that tight. I can just loosen that. And this should be the same size when I screw this back on right here. Let's just check it. Yep, that's good. And let's check to make sure that this piece is gonna screw back on. Okay, so facing out, so it goes right here. Okay, that's good. So the hose is the last piece that I have to get on, and that has like a little pin right here also. We'll take this one out. And we'll test it to make sure it's good. And it is. Okay, so now before we put this on, we gotta get this cleaned up and we gotta put some Teflon tape or either some putty on here. That would good. I'm just gonna go with tape. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying not to get anything, you know, into holes or anything like that. I'm looking down in there. It's looks rusty, but it's not corroded from SH because you don't run any type of SH through your pump. So if you're running SH through your pump, that's going to ruin your pump. SH goes from your downstream ejector straight to your hose. So keep that in mind. All right, so we're just going to get this off. Okay, that should be good enough. Let's go ahead and put the Teflon tape on. Right here's my Teflon tape. So just start a little string right here. Right here, then we're gonna go to a water. Let it widen out. There we go. And we're gonna loop it around maybe a few times. Okay, break that off. Okay, so now we're just gonna turn this back on clockwise. Now if you put your tape on clockwise too, when you put your uploader on, it's gonna go on correctly and it's not gonna mess up the tape. It's gonna bite down on it, and that's what you want. All right, so that's good. We're gonna just turn it where it's gonna match. There we go. Now, I'm not gonna tighten this down super tight. That's the reason I got the tape on there, so I won't have to over tighten this. Now let's go ahead and get this piece back on. This is a plug that goes on the end. So this is some type of putty maybe. It doesn't feel like the normal Teflon tape that I normally use and stuff. I'm gonna try to find out what exactly they use right here, and I'm gonna try to get this because it seems like it works pretty good, but I'm assuming that what I have is also is working pretty decent too. So don't need to clean it too much. It's not really no pressure or anything going through this piece. But we want to make sure that it is. We putting this on whether it be on clockwise. So get it started real quick. There we go. Now, just keep turning it, and we're gonna get this in place. There we go. Now, I'm just gonna screw this on. There we go. I'll take our pliers that we used to get it off. So I'm just tightening this until I feel like it's got a lot of pressure and stuff. So I think this is gonna be my last turn. Now this piece right here was facing down, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing. There we go. So far so good. All right, so we still have this piece right here and we got to put the nipple on. So I have this nipple right here. There's like it's a used one. Let's see if I got a new one. Okay, here's a new one. Make sure it screws in. And this is a 3/8 little male in, and we're gonna put some Teflon tape on this. And like I said, we're putting this on clockwise, so that way when we tighten up, the tape won't be coming off and stuff. So we'll get it close to the top and make sure that we don't cover up any holes, the hole at the top or anything. All right, that should be good. So we're putting a fresh male piece on compared to that one. So I'm just gonna screw this on now. There we go. And I think I have this. This is 11/16 wrench. I think it fits. This was a different size. Let me go to a size up. So this is a 3/4. Let's see if this one fits. Okay, seems like it fits. I'm gonna use the ratchet. Okay, that seems like it's tight. And again, I'm not really over tightening this. I'm putting it on where it's not gonna leak, but also I'm putting it on so when if I need to take this off, I'm able to take this off. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this piece on. We'll clean this up again. Yeah, I'm gonna find out what kind of tape this is. I'm gonna look it up on online. And if I see it, I'm gonna definitely leave a link in the description of what type of tape this is, because this is some pretty good tape. It's feel a lot heavier than what I'm just using with the regular Teflon tape, but it's also kind of sticky. I guess that's good enough. It's not really coming out. I'm gonna do this again. Like I said, we're gonna use this tape. Make sure that we put it on clockwise. Make sure I'm not covering the hole up. So now remember, I didn't take this hose off. I was having issues taking it off. I didn't want to damage it or anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of twist it a little bit like that. And then when I get it started, I'm gonna go back with the heat gun, heat it up a little bit. So let that turn. There we go. We got it started. So what I'm gonna try to do is kind of hold this and take the wrench that I had to take it off, and we're gonna try to put it back on. Yeah, I can do this. It's still spinning. So I'm just gonna keep doing this until it tightens up. I'm gonna make sure that this is good. Okay. There we go. I didn't get a chance to pull that off, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But I'm gonna check for leaks and stuff when we crank this up and everything. So the only thing we need to do now, well, I'm not gonna put the downstream injector on it, but we can just show you. Downstream injector should go on pretty easy since this right here was worn out, because this has been on the machine since I got the machine. So this been on the machine for at least 5 years and stuff like that. So now I'm able to get that off and on real easy. So that's it. I'm gonna take the sticker off. So now with the uploader, if you, now you see I can spin it like freely and stuff. I couldn't do the other one like that at all. So what I wanna do is, I don't wanna really turn this right now. I'm not trying to adjust this as far as the pressure, but like I said, it's supposed to go up to 4,000 PSI. So I'm assuming when you, if you turn it all the way up, that's gonna be the full 4,000 PSI. And if you turn it down, that's gonna drop the PSI on this uploader. I'm not gonna adjust it now until I crank this up and have water going through it. But yeah, if you squeeze the trigger and you don't have no kind of kick or anything like that, most likely it's gonna be the uploader. So change your uploader out. What we just did should get everything together. But here we go, we're done right here. So before we go to our next job, we're gonna crank this up and give it a little test and then do our adjustment. Normal way that you should be able to do this, you can get a gauge you can put on your line, and that gauge will tell you how much PSI is coming through the line and stuff like that. I don't have a gauge, so we're just gonna kind of eyeball it or just by feel, because I remember how this feel when I squeeze the trigger and stuff like that. And also we'll run the surface cleaner on it and see how the surface cleaner is gonna be also reacting on it. And anyway, guys, you know, it's always gallon per minute. You want to clean anything and stuff like that fast, it's not the PSI, it's always the gallon per minute. The higher the gallon per minute, the faster you can go. Okay, I got everything outside and we're ready to test. One thing I didn't do, it was a little hole in the back of this uploader, and I had to put a piece in there because when I turned it on, it just started shooting water out the side. So yeah, I had to take one of the plugs and make sure I plug that piece up. Now let's go ahead and turn the water back on. Now the main thing I want to do is just make sure that this builds up pressure in the line and we come out the hose. There we go. So now we got water coming through that. That means it's primed, getting all the air out. There we go. So all the air is out. Let's go ahead and crank this up, and we're gonna go ahead and give this a test. All right, so when I crank this up, this should just build up pressure. So let's go ahead and crank up. Okay, I already feel it building up pressure and stuff, so let me squeeze the trigger. That seems like it's working. Yep, so I'm shooting a little bit over 2 stories right now, so let's see if I can shoot over the house. Yes, I can. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and try another tip. That seems pretty good. Yeah, when it stopped working, I couldn't even shoot up to the 2nd story of the house. So I know it's working pretty decent now. Get everything clean. So let's try the high pressure piece. I don't see anything leaking, so that's good. All right, so high pressure. That is not enough pressure. Let's go ahead and turn this up. So in order for me to turn this up, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this. I'm gonna turn that off real quick, and we're gonna hit this piece right. We're gonna turn the uploader up to see what happens. The increase and decrease, we're gonna increase it. Right now, that is nowhere near enough pressure. All right, that's cranked all the way, almost cranked all the way down. So I'm gonna back off of it a little bit because this thing is rated for 4,000 PSI. So we're gonna try to find it in the sweet spot. All right, so we're gonna crank this up and see if we get a little bit more pressure now. Power on. Yeah, I feel the pressure increase a lot now. Yeah, that feels good. I think I can get a little bit more. Yeah, that feels real good. All right, so let's try the J-rod again. Pretty good. I noticed that's a little bit quieter. Let's try the fan tip on the J-rod. Yep, I feel a kick in the hose and also a kick on my wand. So yeah, I got pressure. Looks good. I don't think the distance or anything is not going to change. Only thing is going to really change is the pressure when you get to something close. So let's check the distance again. Yeah, I'm still shooting the same height. Even though I increased the pressure, it didn't do anything as far as how far it shoots and stuff like that. That's still going to be the gallons per minute. Like I said, that hasn't changed. So the only thing I can really do is just, like I said, increase the pressure for something when I'm pressing. So the only thing I can really do is just increase the pressure for something that I'm pressure washing up close. So I guess the real test will be is to put my surface cleaner on and see what happens with that. So let's do that next. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check the surface cleaner. Like I said, gallons per minute is basically going to give you more distance, and it's going to give you more cleaning power to clean faster, but it's not going to change the pressure. So increasing the pressure on the uploader is not going to change that. I'm gonna go ahead and crank this up, and then we're going to try the surface cleaner. Here we go. That's not enough pressure, I can tell. Because usually when I lift my surface cleaner up, it will lift off the ground. It's not lifting off the ground, so let's increase the pressure. I just turned it. Let's see what happens now. think I can still turn up a little more. All right, let's check it now. That's a little better. I do see that the concrete is coming clean, so we're not gonna overdo it or anything like that, because I don't have time to clean the entire driveway. So tomorrow I can probably come out here when I load up for my next job. I can look at everything to see how clean it came, but it's cleaning pretty evenly and stuff now, so there's no reason to me keep going to try to get everything clean. But like I said, I'll probably pressure wash the driveway and stuff a little bit later and stuff like that. But yeah, it's working. I got pressure. I know at least I can surface clean now. Okay, guys, so it looks like everything's working. I don't know if what I'm set at as far as the PSI on the trying to turn this water off. I'm not too sure what is the PSI is on here. Like I said, there is a little meter and stuff that you can get, so you can check the PSI on your pressure line and stuff like that. I do not have one. I may see if I can get one. If it's one cheaper or something like that, I get it. But I'll tell you what, if I find one online on Amazon, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. You can click on it and you can get you a little pressure gauge to put into your line. And it's real simple. The only thing you do, you just put it on the pressure line to see how much pressure is getting to your wand and to your surface clean and stuff like that. It's real simple. Okay, so just to recap everything, the only thing I did was basically put a new uploader on here because I lost pressure. The check valves in here was not bad, so one thing that you want to check is always probably be your uploader, because what happened is this little spring right here, it's a spring underneath this adjuster, and that spring must go up and down in order for the uploader to work. So if that spring is not moving, what's happening is your uploader is probably bad. You can go out and buy a spring to put inside your uploader, but I just found it a lot easier just to change the whole thing out. And like I said, I had it for at least 5 years and stuff like that. So I guess I got my money worth out of that uploader. So basically say that that's just one of the minor repairs and stuff I got to get. My thing is my pump did not go out. If your pump goes out, then you're going to be spending at least $300. In my case, if my pump goes out, what I want to do is upgrade from a 4 gallon a minute pump to maybe a 5 or 6 gallon. I think you can get a 5.5, you can't get a 6, but I would like to increase the gallons per minute on my pump. But when doing that, I don't think that the water pressure coming from the water spigot would be enough, and what would happen is I'll probably starve the pump and damage the pump. So if I do decide to go with a bigger pump, I need to make sure that I have a buffer tank on my machine. And I think when I do build my trailer and stuff like that, I will be getting a buffer tank. I think I'm gonna try to get a 100-gallon buffer tank to put on here. That'll be big enough for me to run this machine. Then also it should be enough for me to get an 8-gallon a minute machine, which I think I'm gonna try to build instead of go out and buy one. I think it's gonna be a lot cheaper than buying one at my dealer. I think it's close to anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. I think I can build a machine. I need to price it. I'm gonna price all the parts and stuff like that and see how much I can build one for. I'm thinking I should get one under $2,000 and stuff, brand new. I got everything ready for my job to do tomorrow, but if anything goes wrong, you'll just see it in the video and stuff like that. I'm thinking I'm good to go. I shouldn't have any problems. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you found this video entertaining. If not, at least I hope that you learned something from it. If you didn't, go back and look at the video because you skipped over the good parts. Once again, if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing to the channel. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. Hey, this is Marcos from K&F Pressure Washing, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
It's him and I, K&F.